the smoking gun.
So Pumpkin is a new profile for Rich.
And so I ended up, so basically they said that, they either say they had them or, it was recorded. We just need to find it with John Kitover. John Kitover goes on stage and he says, yeah, dude, it wasn't recorded. I don't have a clip of it. Amazing. So the clip doesn't exist. Now, mind you, I know the clip doesn't exist because I never said any of that shit. Never said it. So if I know that I never said a name of an employer, never said a name of a family member, if I never said your address.
So Bima is about to drop the bomb that it was Rich, and Rich is going to take claim for doxing all these people and giving their information to chaos agents.
Somebody off the app had, had access to their LinkedIn or something like that. And I said, his job history doesn't sound like he makes a lot of money.
No, there's people watching the YouTube live.
I said, he sounds like he's full of shit.
You have no views on
that's not doxing.
Videos. There's literally nobody watching anything you post ever.
Jarl, when did your penis fall off of your? When did your penis fall off, Jarl? When did your pussy grow in? I just want to know.
Like, if somebody was to say,
I can hear you on your
if I was to say, let's just say somebody.
Okay, then it's you, Jarl.
About somebody.
That's okay. I'm just here to record the drama.
This happened to me on
I got 2 people watching me on YouTube right now.
On the back end, like, dude, I know that person's family. Like, this person has a lot of mental issues. Yada yada yada. That's not doxing. No, you can say that's revealing information that people don't, she wouldn't want to hear. But
Joe, is there anything else you want to know about how I'm using my cell phones? Anything else I can help clear up for you on how to use the internet, Jarl?
Of course, I never did anything like that. But we find
you good,
out
Jarl?
the clips never existed.
And nothing else? You
they
good?
Just never existed. Yeah, I'll play some of the clips for you. I thought it was funny.
Well, I'm running for Congress. You would hope your local congressman is an interesting person coming up with innovative solutions.
Weeks of accusing me of being a doxer when I did not dox. And then today, you reveal you have no receipts. How does it feel? There's no clips. Okay.
So, Bima and Pumpkin are about to drop.
Adams, and you'd have to once again drop.
See, Dr. Adams? Dr. Adams is in the chat. This is awesome.
You're recording and me doxing.
Look at this. This was so. Why are you so depressed? Because again, you know that you got caught.
No, well,
you did dox. Alan, I'm literally dating a celebrity. Slippers is dating a celebrity? None of anyone's business, but I definitely got invited to the Emmys this year. You're still complaining about this shit?
Especially when I first came in.
For 1 hour and 40 minutes, and you got 2
let's
views.
see.
Isn't that interesting, Jarl?
I don't know.
Let me go to...
Why would I do all of this for no views?
Here's some of the stuff they had to say.
I feel like you're genuine. I don't know.
Maybe I'm an artist, Jarl. Maybe I'm a great artist who's been yet to be discovered by big critics, so I can get paid for doing what I'm doing and have a huge catalog with 25,000 videos on YouTube, 25,000 videos on Instagram, all over X, all over Clownhouse, Jarl. We're everywhere.
All right. Good luck with it.
Thanks, Jarl. Take care and have a good life. Bye, Jarl.
Never have the receipts. That's the entire modus operandi of the left. They accuse, and then when they're actually pinned down to it, they can't produce anything. And when you produce the receipts, they outright lie.
This is very funny. All right, I hope you've enjoyed Chills and Brain Rot. I'm going to start a new room, Ben. We're going to try to go in this one.
Similar thing where we call out bullshit when we see it, and we both have gotten heat, okay, for what we've said about certain statements, whatever, and today was another day like that with me, but that's besides the point. The point is, it can be upsetting, but the fact is that's the way it usually works, and no one is surprised that they don't have the receipts, because that's how they operate.
Yeah, I thought it was bullshit. I'm trying to sync my fucking iCloud bullshit so I can play it on my computer. It'll take a minute. But yeah, because I got some of the recordings, which I thought were comedy gold. And so yeah. You're a fucking vagina. I know you're like 5'5", 5'6". Motherfucker, I'm 5'11". Okay, like an average height person. I'd be a little short than average, little shorter than average, maybe in Holland, but slightly taller than average in some other countries, like the country you claim to have.
Adams is so funny.
But I do believe that just from looking at your photos, something tells you I'm a few inches taller than you. However, I don't think you really want to talk about sexual, devious sexual activity, given the charges you've discussed before in the past. I don't have the same problems as you, bro. But yeah, you said, oh, be a man. Come on, stand on the square. Come debate me. Just man on man. I'm pretty sure you would be the one holding the mod badge the whole time. So let me one up you, pussy. Come on my stage, and I'll give you a mod badge while clearing my stage. Okay, literally. Okay, mano y mano. And I'm guessing, because I'm a vagina, because I wasn't going to fall for your stupid shit. I'm a pussy. Or actually, you're a big vagina. If you're going to accuse me of being a vagina for not going into your room, would be the two of us and only you had a mod badge, but I'm offering you a mod badge. I'm guessing that makes you an even bigger vagina. And also, why you know that KP and Sig wanted us to squash all of the fighting that we were having. They wanted to intervene. They weren't taking sides. And they publicly told you this and myself this. Sig said he would debate, or not debate. He would moderate the two, sit down between the two of us. He said you flaked out. You bitched out basically. Now, why would you want to moderate her? Well, that way you can't bully behind a mod badge. Hello. Going up on your stage where you're the only moderator? Is that smart? No, of course not. But you are. We all know that and let me just say this: say that you'll go, or say that you'll let Sig mod a room where it's the three of us on stage. You won't do it. The reason why is you're going to go with narratives. He's fucking with family here. He's fucking with my kids. Okay, I'm going to ask the same question. Just like how you admitted tonight. There's no clip. You don't have the receipts. I'm going to say, show me the receipts. Show me where I mentioned a family member's name. Tell me one family member that I named. What did I say about your family?
You never did.
Yes, and so he's going to have to answer those questions, because when he does his response rooms, he never addresses those questions.
Yeah,
that's because they don't exist. It's never happened.
JD's just trying to stay relevant, dude. That's all he's saying.
Well, I know. He lost the keys to healthy debates, and now he's fuming mad. And he was grifting off of the Jews on this app, and the Jews kind of realized, just like Million Man Marathon, just like all of the other ones, you're just kind of not. And you know why you lost your admin privileges from healthy debates? It had a lot more to do with. But you ended up saying you were going to open a room about the quote-unquote Jewish mafia on Clubhouse, but then you bitched out and made a room about a different topic because you got scared. You didn't want that smoke now, did you? Because you knew, and I knew this because I caught wind of it, because I overheard people talking. And I believe that individual showed up in one of your spaces, and you know who I'm talking about. And you know he'll get you clipped faster than a motherfucker. You kind of realize you don't want that smoke. Why didn't you stand in the square? Why didn't you call out the Jewish mafia? The Jewish mafia on the app that got your account clipped. Why didn't you talk about him, Jay? Why didn't you talk about the Jewish mafia?
Because he's a coward.
Yeah, he's a fucking bitch. Yeah, the Jew, I guess, with healthy debates, I'm not going to repeat what was told to me. But, I mean, yeah, you were grifting awfully hard after October 7th, weren't you? You finally found a fucking audience that would listen to you. Then a couple of them disagree with you and you want to start running your fucking mouth about Jews. Oh, gee, why did they turn in on me? I don't know, was there a fucking weasel? Why else?
Because he crashed out and said you can shove the fucking Jews up your ass.
I mean, apparently he's a Jew. Right. Nobody buys that.
He's German.
Nobody buys that he's a Jew. I guess you can identify as one just like you identified as Italian. You know what's really funny? Is that despite me completely tearing down, he's like, you guys want to look at my ancestry and stuff? Then he deflects to Brad. He says, he has like the most German last name. He's not Irish. Hey, asshole. You have to deflect because you know, and I know, you are not Italian. You're a faker. You're not some fucking swarthy Guinea, okay? That was, one of the cool kids in Brooklyn. You're just not. You weren't one of the cool thugs. You were one that had to resort to, finding really, shitty and just horrible ways to make fucking money. You're not even a gangster. Just like Ori, the guy that was locked up that was, I guess connected with the mafia. I should play that clip. JB, he wasn't a gangster. He tried coming to my places. I told him, he's not a gangster. He couldn't catch shit. They're standing 5 feet in front of him. And this is like, he's making a play on your name, Ketchikon. He's basically like letting everybody know you're not a gangster. Because you're not. You're a fucking bitch. Pump.
How bad do you think it's sad that he was molested by the boogeyman?
I do go now. Stop.
And then
Okay, you're going to the audience. Jesus Christ. First of all, you're autistic spurging. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. But then, like, you have to take it there. Like seriously?
Okay, I was just wondering, did Rich, are you aware, because I'm just trying to process this, he said that he let everybody know, but are you aware that he admits to orchestrating everything that happened between JB?
He's trolling.
No. He's done it because he's done it in Chillism. He's done it in multiple rooms. This is what he does. And he's admitting to it right now. He's the one who sends the articles around. He's admitted to it very seriously.
Yeah, that happened. So, I can tell you. So, I heard him take claim for that. Like, in rooms I wasn't in. Now, he was actually DMing me saying, like, dude, have you seen this article about JB? I said, dude, I knew about that years ago. Like, and this was after this last bout between JB and I. No, he did not start it. We know how it started. And it was...
How did it start?
Basically, so you know Roger, right?
Right.
So, a couple of years ago, somebody had, I was hearing people kind of, talk about Roger, and, in references to him being fat, and I was like, how do you guys know this? And he's like, oh, he used to come on here, his real name and photo, and he's like, yeah, dude, remember that podcast he did with so-and-so? He did a podcast with somebody else on the app. But he did the podcast using his real name, just like how he used to use his real name on the app. And I was like, oh, dude. So there was, a room where he was doing, a fat tax. He's like, a poll, should we tax fat people? And I've always thought he was an asshole and a bully, but I ended up basically thinking to myself, oh, dude, I've seen a picture of that motherfucker. And so I went onto YouTube. I took a screenshot of the video of his face, and then I went into his room, and then I changed it to my PTR while I was on stage. And he ended up kicking me out of the room a minute later. And then he eventually left the app that day. And then I was basically, so fast forward the next day.
Didn't get that YouTube link from Rich?
years ago.
Okay.
Rich had nothing to do with this. So this, I can tell you who gave it to me, but I'm not going to, because this person is not involved right now.
No, that's okay. Yeah, don't do that.
And so, no, I just had to go back and like my history, and then I could see the video. And so this was a couple years ago. Because the video is about 3 or 4 years old. And so I ended up taking a screenshot from that.
Pepe, can I ask you a question?
Hold on, let me finish real quick.
Got it.
I'll let you go afterwards. And then I ended up taking a screenshot of it. Now, the next day I wake up and JB has a rumor about me. And he's saying that, oh, he called. Now, this is where I ended up kind of going sideways with him. So I'm listening on anonymous mode. And I hear him like, this piece of shit, you gotta watch out for him. Now, he said that I had doxed. I had given away families' names, social security numbers, where he worked, and I was saying interesting. I literally said none of those things. And so I ended up going
Roger about JB.
Roger.
Okay.
So he was trying to say, like, oh, I'm protecting my friend type of thing, because he's a doxer, and he's saying, like, and, you got to be careful. You might think it's funny to be around somebody like Pepe, but, you just remember, he can always turn on you. And he's saying this stuff. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? I go off of Anonymous and onto a stage, answer a few questions. Him and Nye were asking me questions. I said, nope, I didn't do it. In fact, I'm pretty sure... I think what's his face was in there recording. Maybe get a recording of it. I don't know. And then I open a response room, and because he's calling me names and accusing me of things I did not do. So I start going off on him because look, you can say what you want about me. I'm somebody who would make I would say offensive things. I would have opinions people didn't like. I would talk about very controversial topics. That was my MO. My MO is not making people content, like a lot of the rooms do on this app. But like with him, and it was a back and forth because I ended up kind of like he fired some shots. I started dropping like heavy artillery and going over like really his behavior and his history. And it's been back and forth ever since. But go ahead, Adams.
Hi, Pepe. Are you home?
Oh, yeah, I'm cool, dude.
Got it. So what is your issue with me?
I don't have an issue with you. I don't know why you think I have an issue with you.
Got it. So what's your issue with Jay?
JB? Oh, because like I said, it was he called me a piece of shit and said I doxed social security numbers, names, where he worked, and that kind of stuff. I believe addresses he named on that too. And he said that I've done it before in that room. And so my problem with JB is that number one, he told lies about me because I've never done any of those things. And he was also name calling. But obviously the part that pissed me off the most was him saying like I do that to people, and he was telling people to stay clear of me. I definitely had an issue with that.
So, looking at your history with Jay, haven't you done the things that he said that you have done?
No.
Got it. So you didn't read his criminal record and cast aspersions on his character in misrepresenting his criminal record?
I did not. I read newspaper article. I did say that there's what he was charged with. There's what he was convicted of. His conviction had something to do with prostitution, promoting prostitution.
Pimping grown women.
Amazing. Nobody said they were underage.
Right. So can we? Okay. So we can agree that none of those said victims were underage. We can agree on that, correct?
Yeah, nobody said that. Yeah.
Okay. So when you have the likes of, the rooftop Korean that comes up in here, KK, okay, and flapping her gums and doing the shit that she does, you don't think that actually gives some sort of esteem into, Jay's claim as far as you guys harassing this man and creating aspersions on his character that are mechanically irresponsible and defamatory? You don't feel like you guys have done that?
To answer the question, especially regarding the quote unquote rooftop Korean, she did not say his name, but she read a document regarding an actual conviction, not a charge, but a conviction.
Got it. And you understand that she violated California state law when she did that from standing in California soil. You understand that, right?
I am not sure why.
Right. You're not sure. And that's why I took the position that I did, right? Because again, people want to run their mouths and do the things that they do. When it comes to a standpoint of criminality, this is where I stand where I do.
But I'm confused because Ketchicon, which that account is still up, Ketchicon, if I recall correctly, that's how he made an error.
You're talking in circles around a bunch of shit that doesn't matter.
Yes, no, I am. You're not letting me finish. Again, Adams, you're not letting me finish. Because I was quiet while you went. He went by Ketchicon. When I first met him, he was Ketchicon. He was very upfront about how he used to be a quote-unquote con man. He would refer to himself as a former con man. He would say, like, yes, you're going to hear some stuff on this app, yada, yada. He admits it. Now, quite frankly, I don't see how even that would be defaming his character because he admits he was a former con man. This would happen even before the 2008 or 9 or whatever incident. This kind of still falls in line with him being a former con man. How is that defaming him? He admits he was a former con man. Wouldn't you say something that happened almost 10 years prior to the one that we all know about? It falls in line with him being a former con man?
Hey, Cleto, Matt, Mon, I'd like to say something.
Yeah, I think that you definitely said enough. So can you look at California Penal Code 653.2?
653.2?
Yeah. Can you actually look that up?
Yeah,
Wait, were you talking to me, Slippers, or were you projecting?
No, I wasn't talking to you. I actually called the governor's office of the state of Illinois and I requested a mental hygiene warrant for you. Because again, you're mentally fucking ill, you're a psychopath, and you're a predator. You need to be off the fucking internet.
Well, I can tell you this, Adams, as somebody who worked with a seriously mentally ill, in this case.
Unlicensed, correct?
Unlicensed.
Correct.
But guess what?
Right.
Hold on.
There you go.
Hold on. I was the person who would have to write the petition order, and it'd have to be approved by a psychiatrist and a judge. And that was basically me giving witness testimony. Now, you have severely, what is it? It's GD, gravely disabled. God damn it, I forget all of the acronyms now because it's like almost 20 years ago. Of course, threat, harm to self, harm to others, persistently acutely disabled, or
What exactly is your job title?
Sure. Hold on a second. Now, I can tell you the bar for being,
You can't because you're.
Let me put it like this. No, I can tell you this. This is a mathematical thing. You have a county.
You're still not licensed.
Amazing. 4 million people in Maricopa County, or 4 million plus. There's only 90 beds. 90 beds in Ash, the Arizona State Hospital. Now you need to do the math. Which people get in there? It's the people that end up are like It's not the bums talking to themselves who piss in public, who just, it's not those people. It's generally people who end up getting incompetent to stand trial, and then they're then civilly committed to the Arizona State Hospital afterwards. It's near impossible. He's not gonna. You can't institutionalize somebody like him. It's not even a remote possibility.
And neither can you, because you're not a licensed state professional.
He's not threatening to harm anybody or himself.
No, he's actually giving marginal medical advice on the fucking internet without licensing.
It is John.
Okay, you don't need to be a license. You don't need to have a license.
Wayne, shut up.
Hold on, Rich, don't interrupt. You don't have to be licensed to know that there's 90 beds allocated for 4 million people in the valley.
Pepe, I have a question. Do you think that recording clubhouse rooms would get you institutionalized or big wrecked?
No, you can talk to yourself and have an imaginary wife, an imaginary army, an imaginary... Dude, the bar is so high. Now, even when it comes to being... So, when it comes... There's a threat to self or threat to others. Those are very clear, in which you can get involuntarily committed, and generally you're going to go to... If it's your first time, you go to a county psychiatric hospital. If you are persistently acutely disabled, you're somebody who, for example, I'm so limited on what I'm allowed to say, but let's just say like you're a grown adult and it's in the middle of the summer, your AC is off, you have shit. Let's just say you're covered in shit. You've lost a lot of weight. You're basically pooping on yourself, not eating. You're gonna succumb to the elements. Like, there's things like that where you get involuntarily committed. But you talking to yourself, you being completely detached from reality, having a full psychotic break, you can't be institutionalized for that. Okay, so hold on. I want to go back to California Penal Code 653.2 prohibits cyber harassment or quote-unquote doxing, which involves using electronic communication to distribute or post harmful information about another person with the intent to harass them. To be convicted, the prosecutor must prove you knowingly and willfully engage in a course. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Willfully engage in a course of conduct directed at a specific person that serves no legitimate purpose and would be considered seriously alarming, annoying, tormenting, or terrorizing. Amazing. So
calling somebody homosexual in clubhouse isn't gonna fit that criteria. Right?
Seriously alarming, seriously annoying, or tormenting. I don't see how this would even come close.
I'd like to be put in the queue, moderators.
Shut the fuck up, John. Like, this is an app where you voluntarily go on, okay? And people disagree with each other. They call each other names. People even gossip and tell lies about each other, kind of like what JB has done to me. Amazing. He literally lied about me, but that's not a crime. I can't have a defamation suit against him because he hasn't cost me any money. I didn't stop eating and lose a bunch of weight and have to go to the hospital because his words hurt me so much, so I need damages.
So Pepe, what you just read in terms of the legal doctrine that you read, I mean, that has nothing to do with civil implications. That's criminal. So if you actually look at the penalties, behind the actions under that penal code, it actually can result in a year in confinement in jail.
Like all misdemeanors, like up to a year. Amazing.
Right. So again, and Rich, I suggest that you be very quiet.
Yeah, okay. Rich, don't Rich, your ankle biting stuff. It's just to us two right now.
Oh, this is all directed at me.
Well, no,
it's not directed at you.
He's talking about KK for fuck's sake.
It's not directed at you.
So
it's talking about KK. Why I did not file a complaint that I did today, okay? to the Office of Judicial Affairs. Given the fact that your father is a federal judge and you continue to release people's information on this fucking app, I suggest that you be fucking quiet.
Okay, hold on, stop. Guys, no more ankle ball. I'm just gonna start
Oh
taking people
my
to the goof.
God.
This is Adams and I right now.
Wait, who was that? Adams? Who was he just speaking?
He was speaking, I think, to Rich, but he was about Rich, but Rich keeps on inserting himself. So, but we're talking about, we're talking about KK and what she did, and yeah, I would have to say, okay, when it comes to quote unquote doxing, that's not doxing. This individual gives his real name on this app. And he tells people he was a former con man. He's been clear that he's been in trouble with the law before. And she brings up, as this former con man likes to say, he used to be a con man. She pulled up one of his records of his cons. I guess I don't quite get how that is. Who would find that even reasonable? If I said I was a con man and you pull up one of my convictions of conning somebody, after I get my real name, like I can't say like, oh, you doxed me. You see, you're calling me a con man. Back when I said I was a con man. Like, how does that work? I mean, you have to understand, he had a name, Ketchicon, and his thing and his whole persona was, I used to be a con man. Now I catch cons. Well, she went to his history, which he clearly has been open about. He clearly would give his name, and
Pimping grown women.
she found that he conned.
Pimping grown women, correct?
Well, no, he said he was a con man. Like
Pimping
more than
grown
one.
women. Those were the charges, correct?
No, he said, he claims he was a
Pimping grown
Adams. Stop, Othello. He said he was a con man in the past. Did he not? That's what he's always fucking said. He was a con man.
Yep.
That's why he said he's catch a con, because he used to be a con. Okay, he has a conviction for pimping, but that does not negate the fact that he said he was a fucking con in the past. How can you defame somebody's character when your character is, I used to be a goddamn con man? And then she finds it, she reads out a court case where, yeah, he was fucking conning somebody. Back in the past, when he said he was a fucking con man, you can't defame somebody like that. That's not defamation. That's, if anything, that's basically, building on what the fuck he was saying.
It's the equivalent of saying that President Trump has federal felony convictions.
It's like me saying, I used to be a rapist. I was caught. God damn it, you pulled up my fucking record. God damn it, what does it say? It says rape. Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, if I said I did that kind of behavior in the past, I'm not saying he's ever said any such thing, but I'm giving it an example. If I said I used to be such a character, and you pull up a record of me doing what I said I used to do, I mean, geez, how is that defamation? His claim is that he's no longer a con and he catches cons now. She didn't say, what she read did not refute what he said by saying that he's a con man now. It basically just reaffirms that, yeah, he used to be a con man. I don't know how the fuck that would ever be a fucking crime, especially when you volunteered that information on this app. Like your name and the fact that you used to be a fucking con man and you already have a criminal record.
Sex trafficking industry is the #2 illegal industry in America.
I'm just going to say one simple thing. I don't think said person should be opening the business that they used to do the same thing. It's kind of scary.
Hey, I enjoy this drama, but what I enjoy more is education and reading books as opposed to just relentlessly stirring the
Okay,
pot.
you're gonna shut your goddamn mouth, or you're gonna go to the goo. Now you're not doing one of your normal touch spiels. And I heard you say I heard you say some nasty things about me in that room. I can hear it, but I don't take you seriously.
Well, I'm consistent, at least when I ridicule you for being a worm.
I never take you seriously, but I just don't want to hear your annoying spiel.
Oh, like you're projecting. You just did a huge annoying spiel.
And go up.
To be fair, I've watched his streams. I don't think he reads books, but he listens to audio. He'll have his streams. He'll have like a 12-hour stream, and it'll consist of like 3 hours of Clubhouse, and then it's just like the rest of the 9 hours are an audiobook.
Because he's not very interesting. Nobody wants to hear him talk. Remember when he used to make his rooms and everybody would come in and be like, oh, it's you, and leave the room immediately, and then it would just be him. You could see him in the hallway. It was just him in his room. Like, nobody gives a fuck about that motherfucker. Did you remove him, or is he...
I moved him to the audience.
Welcome back to the Pepper Show.
Why is he in here? He hates us. He hates your rooms, but yet he comes.
He does what he does. He's just always, that's just him. I don't really care. No, I would say Adams. Holy shit. I don't know what to say. This whole thing about crimes, I have. First of all, I've been in so many.
Pepe,
hold on.
I just want you to stop what you're doing.
What am I doing?
You're being malicious. Like you're intentionally.
Shut up, Rich.
Can you move her, chum, please?
You come
honestly,
up one more time and you're going
I don't
down.
want Rich to create any more damage to his father's career. Okay?
No, guys,
move
stop
him down.
Stop talking about each other.
Him
I'll move him down. I'll move him down if he comes off this mic again. But no more addressing each other. Now, Rich, I swear to God, actually, if you address him, Rich, you get kicked from the fucking room, okay? And Adams, do not fucking address him. All right, but if you interrupt, you're definitely going to stay in the fucking audience, Rich. And if you say anything in the chat, you get kicked out of the fucking room. So now that those guidelines are clear, go ahead. What were you going to say, Adams? Don't talk about Rich.
Pepe, I feel like you handled this situation in a way that was morally repugnant. Like, it was morally repugnant. Like, you literally talked about Roger and, taking time off from his professional career to raise his kids. How many of these people sitting here listening to the scuttlebutt is actually talking to their fucking kids? So at the end of the day, this shit is completely out of any sense that's reasonable, okay? The way that you've handled this shit has been absolutely... I'm disappointed, Pepe. I really am. I'm very disappointed. Very, very, very disappointed. And even through all of this, I mentioned the fact that, your number came up on Telegram. I didn't give that to anybody. I didn't offer that up as scuttlebutt or any of those other things when people were asking me, begging me, and offering me money to do it. Stop it, Pepe.
Well, I appreciate that, Adams. And I would say this. I could promise you I never said anything about... at least I really do not recall. I'm going to say at least 95% sure I never said anything about him taking time off to raise kids. I did hear it, but I do not ever remember hearing that. I remember my commentary was strictly pointing out that
Pepe, we
hold on. Let me finish my point.
Pepe,
Adams,
let
him
you out
finish,
here.
Please.
Come on, stay out of
No,
it.
you stay.
But I'm just trying to finish my point. I'm just trying to finish my point. I think you don't understand my goal with Roger. My goal was Roger is a bully. He liked to bully fat people and try to act like, oh, I can, just be a dick. I can, and I make a lot of money. I'm good. this okay. My goal was to basically show that no, you don't. And quite frankly, this guy can't bully you because he's none of those things that he says he is, and he likes to bully people over. That was my goal. I had zero interest in pointing out what his whether or not he took time off to raise kids. And quite frankly, I wouldn't care if he did that. I don't even look at that as necessary. Like a lot of men might, but I personally don't even look at that as necessarily a bad thing. I do have friends who their fathers were in that situation. I don't think that makes them bad.
I will say something about Roger. When he was first on the app, he ran very even keel rooms. They were balanced.
Alan,
and
he's still on the app. So again, I would be very.
I don't care.
Yeah, he's still on
Okay,
the app.
let him.
I don't care.
All right, just let
don't
Alan
care.
finish.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll say it again. I don't care, because there are a lot of people on this app, including Roger, who think they're morally superior to me or somehow smarter than me. They are not. And they hold that moral superiority over my head because they happen to be mods. I don't care. They're full of shit, and I will say it to their face. And I've said this to Roger's face in rooms and in private chat. So I'm not saying anything now that I haven't said before. Anyways, to continue, he ran good rooms when the app first started. He never insulted anyone, and he was aligning himself with the right more than the left, I think, because he felt that politically, as a libertarian, that was more beneficial to him and his political beliefs. At a certain point, why, I don't know, he lost it. And it seemed like he was attacking conservatives. Now, that makes sense, as initially conservatives were not in power, so he was aligning with the underdog, and one could excuse it by saying, well, now that conservatives have power, then we're going to hold them accountable. But that is also when his trolling and his bullying behavior started. And as I view him, it really depended on which Roger you got. Sometimes I could go into his rooms and he would be fair, he would listen, etc. Other times you could tell he was in a mood, and
100%.
And he would be looking to criticize people. The thing that really did it for me is he told me early on in the app, remember Alex New York? He would conspire with Alex, so he would say, hey, things are getting kind of dull in my room. You send some of your people into my room, I'll send some of my people into your room, and let's agitate everybody. So he was purposely using that as a way to create content and to annoy people.
So I want to bring up this. So we talked about some of the things that which I am almost certain that I never said anything about him taking time off to raise kids. I actually don't look at that as a bad thing. First, you guys can clip that. But what I am curious about is that, why do you stand by JB? Like, you were actual friends offline with KK, and she was disparaging her and her dead husband. Now, here's a woman, and he likes to say, "Oh, no, all of a sudden you care her husband's black." I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, she is raising her kids, and I guess she packed her whatever she has with her husband and the family. Like, she's not remarried while she's raising the kids. Dude, come on, bro. Like, that was the most fucked up thing. I actually was surprised. I have a low opinion of JB, admittedly, but even I thought that was not low of him to necessarily go there, but I would have thought he would at least be smart enough to think like, yeah, you just don't, dude, there's some things that are just too sensitive. You just don't go there. Her reading out, a official court document, and then him saying what she said, or him saying what he said about her and her husband, like that was fucking gross, bro. And I don't see like the same level of outrage. She's somebody you were friends with in real life.
So no, that's not somebody that I'm friends with in real life. So at the end of the day, listen, that is an issue between JB and KK. What I have a problem with is the fact that behind that issue, you, Pepe, were sitting there laughing about JB's abuse as a child. You were laughing about child molestation. And, for me personally, in listening to that specific circumstance, and I've shared this on this app, I was a sequestered witness, when I was in high school, from a man that did something that was very terrible to me. And he went on, when I was in college, raped and kidnapped a 12-year-old boy. So listening to you making light of that situation, I don't give a fuck as far as the issue between you and between KK and JB. What I do listen to is you making light of somebody's trauma that, quite frankly, is very close to me as a person. You cross a line that, in my opinion, was morally repugnant.
Well, my apologies. You can say that, he gave his name, and he encouraged people to look up his fucking background. Because basically he wanted you to see before other people gave you the narrative on his background. That was my encounter with him when I first met him.
Pepe, do you know how many judges were at my mother's funeral? You don't think that I did my due diligence in understanding exactly who that person is? You don't think that I read the case? You don't think that I had access to documents different from what you guys are reading on Google? Stop it.
Amazing.
The man was pimping grown women.
Okay. But once again, okay, like I don't think it's funny when children get molested or touched or victimized.
So why did you laugh about that? Why did you laugh about that in the context of
did I laugh about it, or did I make a off-color remark about it?
Pepe, it was disturbing. It was very disturbing, and I'm not trying to use this as a gotcha moment. I'm being real and honest with you, okay? It was very disturbing, okay? The fact that you would make light at the fact that that man was a victim as a child of abuse.
Sure, but I would say he kind of like went on as an adult to complete that. I mean, you've heard about the circle of abuse.
Pimping grown women.
Pimping grown
Sexual
women.
trafficking. Sexual trafficking.
Pimping grown women. Pimping grown women. Othello, shut the fuck up. Othello, shut the fuck up.
Hold on a second.
You end up on the other side of a litigation. Be quiet.
Okay, hold on a second. All right, hold on a second. So, I know his original now. I've only had hearsay. Now, I'm not going to go off hearsay because I don't have documentation. Of course, JB has been doing hearsay for almost a month based on clips that don't exist, which he's admitted. And they've all admitted they don't have the clips. Now, with that being said, holy shit, I lost my train of thought. Jesus Christ, where was the path I was going down? God damn it, I had a total brain fart. So fucking annoying. What was I talking about? It was the...
Oh, how he's been doing hearsay, there's no clips.
Yeah. So, like I'm okay. So I've heard hearsay where there is, you know, okay. So the original charges versus the conviction. The sex trafficking was a charge, not a conviction. Now, you know, this is hearsay that I've heard on this app that like he, you know, basically had victims from out of state. They were, you know, not going back to New York. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I mean, if somebody can, you know, obviously get the actual court records.
That's not me.
And you know, that anybody can do that in New York. I don't really care to do it. I don't know how much of that is true, but I mean, just because of your conviction, I mean, I did see, you know, he would tell us to look up his name. He did give a review for a lawyer where he's like, I was facing 25 years in prison, you know, but I only had like 5 years.
Pepe, let me just tell you this. I wish that you would have done as much due diligence when you had Europa modded up with you and Mon and Tally up on the stage in White America, right? So let's not pretend, okay? Let's not pretend like you don't know what due diligence looks like, right? I wish that you would have exercised the same fucking due diligence in the way that you're going after JB, in the same way that you went after Europa for digitally, anally penetrating his fucking granddaughter.
Not anally, digitally. But once again, this is where your argument falls apart. So KK,
no,
Brad,
that was a mod on your stage.
Oh,
That's not an argument falling apart. That was a mod on your stage.
Yes.
A convicted,
hold on.
Convicted child molester.
Yes, hold on. I get it. This is your way of trying to defame me. I get it.
Ain't nobody trying to defame you. That shit is.
I know, but let me finish.
You modded a stage with a
Adams. Yes. We know. And you were modded with them, and you were keying with them in chats. Yes, you were.
No,
you were modded the exact same time.
I was not.
Matt.
Again.
Hold on. Matt, was he not a mod during the same time as fucking Europa? Yes, you were.
I mean,
yes, you were.
Off and on, but I can't say at that specific moment that issue. But yeah.
Okay, here's what you have to understand is that, you know, when it comes to Elijah, when it comes to Rydell, when it comes to Sig, when it comes to Brad, when it comes to a whole bunch of fucking people, you would have to implicate everybody in that. No, we did not know he was a fucking child molester. We didn't know his real name. In fact, the reason why we ended up parting ways is because he was modded up in a room where somebody had my name and Mon's name in the room in the title, and he was modded up in there, and they were trying to like talk. It was Samia, who's still on this app. And we were like, dude, why are you like modded up in here? And he's like, you're not the boss of me. And he starts talking shit to Mon. He's like, I'll cut off your fucking head and I'll piss down your throat. You know, I have cartel connections but yada, yada, yada. So like we basically cut off contact with him. Now, like a month or two later, there's this black guy with a big white beard who goes by Yams. He was fighting with them one night. And Europa was like being brazen, and he said, I'm in Houston, Texas, come kick my ass, come, we'll see about it. Now, and then he gave his real name. So then Yams looks him up and sees he's this fucking sex offender. And then it breaks then. And to be fair, like, there were comments that people thought he might be a creep. One of my friends from Discord, he only stayed on for a few weeks because he thought this app was toxic. He said, like, this guy gives me creepy vibes. Mon would say he gave creepy vibes. I just thought he was a little weird. But, I mean, it's just like, did I put two and two together and think he was a kitty toucher? Like, no, I don't know. I've never been around a self-professed kitty toucher. I don't know what how do they act? I don't know.
Do you have Jazzy blocked?
No. This is a new account, bro.
Let's go ahead and ping her into the room.
You can go ahead. I'm not friends with her. I can't ping her in. But when it comes to Yeah, so I love how you're trying to talk about. This is the funny part. Now let's just make this clear. So we were talking about everything that transpired over the last few weeks, where I was accused of doxing, which there's zero proof, zero clips have come out, and now you want to refocus and center on something that happened years ago, where there's a guy that we discovered to be a fucking choma.
Pepe,
But hold on a second.
man. There's not zero proof. You doxed that man.
I didn't dox him. Yams doxed him.
Dr. Adams.
I didn't know his name.
It was Yam, in fairness. Yeah.
Like, I woke up one day, and then had a bunch
I'm
of.
talking about Roger. You literally doxed Roger.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
How?
Would you want to refer back to the same penal code that I just shared with you? So what does it say? What? Right. Work history.
Okay.
Right.
Let's look
You
it up.
doxed
Work
that
history.
man. Stop your bullshit.
That's not doxing.
My
First of all, you can't dox somebody
This is
that's
crazy.
you
The
can't dox
legal
somebody.
definition stated on California state law clearly defines what you did is doxing.
No, not whatsoever.
Okay.
So I didn't dox.
So
him.
you didn't read out his employment history?
No, I never read it out.
Got it. You're a liar.
I only made the
You're a
comment.
liar. You're a liar.
Okay, show the
You
clip.
are a fucking liar.
Show the clip. Where's the clip? You guys keep on making these claims, but you never produce the clips. Where are the clips?
This is crazy.
my thing.
You say it's crazy, but show the clip.
Pepe, you're a liar. All
Okay,
right?
show the
So
clip.
I'm gonna leave because I'm not gonna create any more damage to Roger's case against you, and you are
Amazing.
gonna get sued. You are gonna get sued.
Okay, amazing. I'm so scared.
No, you definitely are gonna get sued.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
again, at the end of the day, you're a fucking liar.
Amazing. Show the proof. You guys already admitted you don't have clips. You guys don't have clips.
My thing is, why does Adams have some moral high ground when he has sexual harassment?
Because it's the Adams Show, duh.
I don't know. The only thing I find funny is that this all started where the JB has been the man that has been demonized more than like 99% of the app. And I've been demonized quite a bit, but for very different reasons. See, I don't come on to women on this app. I don't send dick pics. I don't give out my personal information. I don't make content out of